I'm Henry Gordon-Smith, and we're here at the Launch Food Forum with two of the innovators from Foodwall. How's it going, Mark and Brendan?
We're having a great time here. It's my first time in the US.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's fantastic to be here. Come all the way from Melbourne, Australia, to join this amazing event with some of the biggest, most influential people in the food industry.
Great, and you having a good time, Brendan?
Absolutely. I love San Francisco. It's beautiful weather, and we've got a fantastic collection of brains here working on how to solve global food security and improve cities, food production in rural areas and cities.
Yeah, I'm just so excited to be here at Launch Food, and I just had to take a moment to speak with both of you because I think Foodwall is a really incredible and scalable innovation. So if you could tell us briefly about Foodwall, what it is, and what's the impact you're trying to make through it.
Well, Foodwall is a space-efficient, time-efficient, water-efficient urban food growing system which uses natural wicking technology to grow great food in really small spaces.
That's right. It's a modular, mass-produced, easy-to-assemble urban farming system that can be built onto any surface in a city. So you can build it onto rooftops, car parks. You can build it up walls. It's ultra water efficient. It's easy to use. It's soil-based, so it's low-tech and accessible. And we think it's got the potential to flip cities into superfood producing areas.
Yeah, great. Well, we at Agritecture love that. We want to see cities as productive as possible. So what was the key problem that you saw first that you kind of developed Foodwall around?
The reason for doing this is because our backyards are actually shrinking. Okay, they're getting smaller and smaller, and our space to grow food and our connection with food is being lost. Surveys in Australia say that we don't have time, we don't have the expertise, and we just don't have the ability to grow food ourselves. So we needed to invent something that just made it like gardening for dummies. It really made it easy and accessible, super low tech. We're a soil-based system, so we can close nutrient loops, we can compost on site to grow more food. So we really kind of low tech, but we had to solve some technical problems with wicking garden systems to make them work even more efficiently.
So Brendan, where are you installing? Is it people's homes? Is it gardens? Who's the ideal customer? Schools maybe, or
yeah? So look, we're retrofitting school gardens with the Foodwall and the horizontal models, and they're becoming much more efficient, water efficient, time efficient. So students are spending less time weeding, and they're straight into learning about food. Yeah. We're building community gardens and community farms, rooftop farms. We've got a cool little espresso bar in Melbourne where we're composting the coffee grounds on site, putting it back into food production. And we've got this nice food wall that frames the espresso bar, and has so far produced a couple of $1,000s of produce for the local soup kitchen. So that's just showing closed loop technology. We've also set these up so they can be self-contained urban farms where they can capture rainwater, and you can set up the food growing system so it filters out pollutants out of stormwater, and then you can put that into food production. Because cities have enormous opportunities to grow food. We've got things that we treat as waste streams, like water runoff and food waste, and we can repurpose that and point it back into food production. So it's just an enormous opportunity.
So one of the things that fascinates me about Foodwall and the kind of project you're setting up is that it feels like an infrastructure project more than just a product that you put in your garden. It's really looking at the whole system together. Where does that come from? Is that based on your professional background, or why are you approaching it that way?
Well, see, I'm a stormwater engineer. I work with a lot of water-sensitive urban design, and over here in the States you call it low-impact design. Mm-hmm. So a lot of engineering to get water flowing through containers right, to understand that. And Brendan's got a fantastic horticultural background, and so really it was a mash of our skills and expertise to tackle this problem.
And look, you're correct. I guess it's lightweight food growing architecture and infrastructure. It's non-invasive, and you can build it onto any surface and flip that into a food producing area. So it's not just a little system, it's a scalable thing.
So we talked a little bit about the audience in agriculture, a lot of vertical farming, a lot of hydroponic greenhouses. Why did you go with a soil-based solution and a wicking solution instead of a hydroponic solution? A lot of people think, well, Australia, right, there's drought, so obviously hydroponic, recirculating, that's the way to go. What do you have to say to that kind of thinking, and why did you approach it the way you did?
So we're not going to compete with broadacre farming. We're not going to compete with hydroponics because they're awesome systems. But there is a very good need to get people to get linkage with their food. They might be, have a low socio-economic, there might be refugee camps, and it's just great to get back to soil. Soil's going to be around forever. Okay, that's not going away anytime soon. So it's just really low-tech, low-cost way of getting into gardening and just doing it right.
And yeah,
I'll add to that. Cities might seem dry, but we've got all these hard surfaces, and every time it rains, you get massive amounts of runoff. So we've got more water running off the urban environment than we ever have had in history. And we've got these abundant, massive waste streams of food waste that can be composted back in. Both of those can interface with a bottom watering soil-based system. And as Mark said, it's an accessible technology that a really broad lens of people can interact with. So it doesn't have a high-tech barrier. So the system, we're taking amateur gardeners like ourselves. I am not a very sophisticated gardener, and all of a sudden I'm a champion urban farmer with the system.
yeah, that simplicity is really important. I think you touched on something great, which is that green infrastructure is needed in cities. In New York City, whenever there's more than an inch of rain, the whole system overloads.
Yeah.
And so you're right, it's not just about saying, okay, we don't have enough water, so we must go hydroponic. It's about really looking at the existing problems and how you can turn something like stormwater, which is a waste product, really into a resource. So what are you hoping to get here out of Launch Food? What are the main things you're hoping to get?
We're hoping to get really great connections. We're hoping to get projects of scale that we can take our technology and just really crash that price down, so we can go on scale and just make this technology that we've developed in Australia, the Foodwall, really accessible to a broad range of people, and then go to that next step and take it and make a big system and really crash that price down again, so we can put that out to huge rooftop gardens, community farms, and ultimately potentially aid programs as well.
Do you agree with that? Anything else you want to add, Brendan?
Absolutely, and also it's we're moving to a low-cost production method that'll drop the price, and that'll make it accessible for the home gardener as well, and even renters, because it's a system that comes sleeved and you snap it together like a Meccano set. We can have a team of 4 people build a big urban farm in a matter of days. It all snaps together, it's got quick couplings, and even renters who need to move can actually pack up the garden and move it and take it with them. So it overcomes a lot of those barriers, and it has a lot of accessibility in that sense. Yeah.
So tomorrow you're pitching, right, at Launch Food,
Yep.
and are you nervous about that? You excited?
Well, we're just super excited. We can't wait to get into it. We can't wait to just tell the world what we're up to. We're excited. We know this is going to be a game changer if we can get people on board to help turn our cities into really food growing systems.
Well, there you go. It's Agritecture in action at Launch Food with Foodwall. You can check them out at biofilter.au.com and just Google search .com.au. Yeah, those Australians.
We're down under. It's all upside down.
But anyway, thank you so much, gentlemen. Really appreciate it. It's
Thank
such a
you.
pleasure meeting you.
Thank you.
And wishing you all the best tomorrow.
Thank you.